And it's a great morning. It's 13 minutes after 8 o'clock. The day before the big holiday,
For the 4th of
the
July.
4th of July,
Yes.
Carry Come Day.
Yes.
And I guess if you're American, then it has additional meaning for you.
Wait.
Or a different meaning for you. Right?
Yes. So we have CARICOM Day tomorrow, so it's a public holiday. Usually that day is celebrated by Americans as their public holiday, and their independence. But we have tomorrow CARICOM Day. And we've had so many things happening over the weekend. I want to say pleasant morning to everyone. Those persons who are going to work, those persons who might have taken the day off, persons might be on vacation or started the vacation before, or persons might be heading to work as we speak. So I want to say a pleasant morning to you. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. It is Monday now, and it's going to be a 4-day work week for some, those who work from Monday to Friday. And so tomorrow is our holiday, and so we celebrate the 50th anniversary of CARICOM. And we've had so many things in the news over the weekend. One of the things that was highly anticipated, Jamster, as you know, would have been the Nevis Mango Festival. Did you get an opportunity to go to it or to attend?
No, but I got some feedback.
Yes.
You got any feedback?
I got feedback. Not even directly. I saw these stamps on persons' Facebook. I saw it on the WhatsApp. I saw it all over.
Well, a very good friend of ours
Mhm.
gave us, and she is not someone who
Mhm.
is, let's say, unmeasured in the way she talks. She
Yes.
speaks about things.
Mhm.
She said she thought it was very poorly organized, and for example, she had tickets beforehand,
Mhm.
and she was saying that she had to. Well, she was standing in line. No one said that whether there was a line for tickets.
Yes.
People who paying on the spot.
Mhm.
And eventually and she said each line was pretty long, so she just decided to go up to this, and they let her in. But yeah, and apparently there wasn't enough food. That's what she said. But
Yeah.
other people have said the same thing, so I don't know.
Wow. Yeah, I know, and I saw
And
persons.
it seems as though a lot of people were really anticipating it, which is good. So
It was very well advertised. It was very well marketed. People were buzzing in anticipation
Do you know
for
if
the day.
if Candy went?
I don't think she did.
She did.
No.
Okay. I know you guys was. You didn't
I
go.
didn't go.
You
I didn't get to
Candy.
go in the end, and I felt a way not going. And then I saw the reviews, and I said, "Wow," A lot of persons talked about the organization of the event. A lot of persons said they weren't able to get food. They were in long lines. One person, I saw some ratings online. I saw some comments. Ratings were that the marketing of the event was superb, but actually the execution and organization of it left a lot to be desired. And perhaps when they did so well in the marketing that so many people went, that they didn't organize well to accommodate the number of persons that actually attended from the reviews, it seems. And so some persons were saying that some of their samples, their tickets, whatever they had to get the samples, they were left with many of them wondering, well, I didn't get my samples. How am I going to be compensated? And so, I mean, it happens to organizers. Sometimes you have been used to a specific crowd of persons, and then you have this increase in a particular year, and you are not able to manage the increase in the number of persons who are in attendance. And if there anyone out there who went to the Mango Festival in Nevis and want to share their views, his or her views, anyone out there who went to the Mango Festival and want to share his or her views on being a part of it, you're welcome to call in. You're welcome to add to the discussion and tell us how it went for you, your experience, because we are only speaking from an outside perspective, seeing the comments that persons who attended would have made.
And we want us to succeed, especially because this is a great and realize it's kind of snowballing down here. People I remember when the Mango Festival started, and it was more a Nevis thing,
Yes.
and now people are going over for the
Mm-hmm.
Mango Festival. So we
Yes.
want them to get it right. So NTA, don't think we're bashing y'all. We want us to get our stuff together, so that it goes from strength to strength. I mean, I know they even brought in a character from a personality
Yeah.
from
Julie
Jamaica.
Mango.
Julie Mango.
Yes. So I mean, it was as again very well marketed. I know they had persons who were popular persons in Nevis advertising for the Mango Festival.
Music festival.
You see the Mango Festival. So it's it was well advertised. It was enticing. It created a lot of alarm, a lot of interest, and it's just for those persons, the organizers, to make sure that they cater for a larger crowd than anticipated. Because when you put in so much marketing and people are coming, you have to make sure that you execute and that the organization is up. Because then, if it's not, then persons would be deterred next year from going, regardless of the marketing and everything like that, unless they are assured by way of some sort of advertisement again that this year is going to be different from the last in terms of the organization of the event.
And this morning I was actually trying. I just realized this morning, I was so busy over the weekend. I just realized that there was a tent,
Mm-hmm.
a Calypso tent over the weekend.
Yes.
And it was on July 2nd, so that would have been last night. The first culture no, tent number 2 apparently.
Yes.
So I tried to play a track, but then the internet started giving trouble, so I had to rush and
Yes.
I had to go and play a PSA or something. And then I came back and I started playing it again, and the internet started messing up again.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna try and get those. I'm gonna try and get those chopped up and so on, so that we can have them to play and so on. Because it was it's nice to see, and it's nice to see them going as far as putting it up on YouTube and everything. And we had Abernathy hosting.
Yes.
My co-host from Carnival.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw this and that. I saw this and that singing as well. I was just kind of skimming through.
Mm-hmm.
I saw this and that. I saw Badman Polo. I saw Empress Lyrics. The song I was playing is by someone called I don't remember her name. The song was called Calypso Warrior
Yes.
or something like that. Yeah, basically saying she's representing to keep the calypso alive and so on. And she also referenced the fact that food prices are out of pocket.
Mm-hmm. It is. And too, they had some sort of back and forth on the social media yesterday, that the Sugar Boys played the Reggae Boys.
Oh, how did that go?
Well, the Reggae
Where
Boys.
do I live?
The Reggae Boys won. The Jamaica Reggae Boys, they won. And there was some sort of meme going around saying, time and place Sunday, and the winner gets Byron Messiah. Because, there has been some sort of controversy as it relates to where he really is from, and who he represents,
Crazy.
And
crazy,
so
man.
there was social media posts saying, time and place is shut down, Jamaica versus St. Kitts and Nevis, and at the end of the day, the prize is Byron Messiah.
So what was the score?
Well, the last time I checked, and I hadn't had a chance to check after that, it was 3-0 the last time I saw the postings. And so I don't know what the updated score is, but after that I said, okay, then it is that way.
It's probably going to be on loop.
Yeah.
I'm going to check in a bit.
I said at that point.
So that's it first then?
Well,
I don't know. Yeah, because we already played all 4 teams all 3 teams, the other 3 teams in the group. US, TNT, and Jamaica.
But I mean, let us congratulate our team regardless, because
I actually didn't realize this is the first time we made it to the Gold Cup.
Yeah.
I actually thought we'd made it before.
And it's only better from there. I'm sure that having experienced that they will come back even better, stronger than before. So we're able to to improve on the performance. Again, congratulations. it's even an accomplishment to reach as far as they did. So,
You know, you guys were saying on, you and
mhm,
Candy was saying, I think it was Friday,
mhm,
either Thursday or Friday, you were talking about how Americans tend to be not very friendly towards people who try and fail.
well, no, I don't
Which
know. I don't know. I didn't say. I think someone called
it was
in.
somebody who said that. It
I think
wasn't.
someone called in and mentioned that. I think it was. I don't want to call names. I think I could be wrong. I
Yeah,
think it
you're
was
right.
perhaps Mr. McMahon.
Yeah. But I think it's the opposite
Mhm.
because, and I feel like this is where we should look at this. We shouldn't look at this as a failure.
Mhm.
We should look at this as progress,
Yeah.
right? And it just
Oh, the
means
score. Someone just tell me the score is was 5-0 or is 5-0.
oh,
Yeah,
fine
so
now.
I did see
Oh,
someone put
God.
5-0, but that's at the time I only saw 3-0, 3-0. So I said to myself, maybe that person is just giving a score that I think would have been at the end, but I guess it was 5-0 because I'm seeing someone here. Teshi Baby Inc. says 5-0. Yeah, yeah,
About 5-0.
yeah.
But I don't look at it as a failure. And this is something we need to practice more
Mhm.
because we have to put things in perspective. You can't just look at this as a loss without context.
Mhm.
It's the first time, so it's progress because we've never been into the Gold Cup, right?
That's
And
what-
I still feel very proud of them that we got
Yes.
this far, especially. And I know some people don't like me to bring up the size thing, but the size thing does matter, really,
Mhm.
right?
It does because we have a much smaller pool to select from. Jamaica
Exactly.
has over 2 million persons
Nearly
to select
3 million.
from. Yeah, and we have what 50,000 people.
50,000 people.
Yeah, and how many of those 50,000 people have the athletic
Exactly.
capacity to even make it so far?
Exactly. And,
So we're just like a drop in the bucket
Exactly.
compared to their population.
the people who like to say, "Oh, don't talk about size."
Yeah,
and-
because I saw someone comment saying, well, 11 persons are 11 persons regardless. But then you are taking 11 from 50,000 in one instance, and then in another instance, you're taking 11 from 2.7 or more million people.
And you realize that again is assessing it without context. You
Yeah.
can't just say 11 people are 11 out of 335 million, 11 out of 3 million,
Exactly.
11 out of 1.3 million, 11 out of 50,000. I mean,
they have
you
so
can't-
many people to choose from. Imagine you saying you want a specific car of a specific type, and you have in one country or in one area 50,000 cars to choose from, and in another you have 2.7 million cars to choose
Exactly.
from. The chances of you finding the car that you want or more of the cars that you want would be in the larger sample size.
Obviously.
Yeah. So I mean, and then you talk about genetics and and you talk about diversity, and so
Yeah.
in 2.7 million you have a greater chance of being diverse than the 50,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
So I'm working on getting your camera back. and
Yes.
Just decide. The system just decided, no, I don't want to see Azard today.
I know
Tomorrow's a
remember-
holiday, it's probably
and then
saying.
so probably they're saying put me off until Wednesday. So another thing that I saw being circulated, and it brought some thought and attention to me, is the fact that we had the passing of our former Governor General, Sir Tapley Seaton, last week, and I saw a post, an article by the St. Kitts Nevis Times saying that the St. Kitts Nevis Drew administration yet to declare flags flown at half-mast and other gestures of national mourning in the honor of passing of the immediate past Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton. And the article goes on to say the recent passing of the immediate past Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, Sir Tapley Seaton, has left a void in the hearts of the nation's citizens. However, despite the profound impact he had on the country, the Drew administration has yet to declare that flags should be flown at half-mast or other gestures of national mourning as a tribute to his memory. It says the omission has raised questions and concerns among the population, as paying homage to its esteemed individuals who have contributed significantly to the population is customary and expected. It goes on to say Sir Tapley Seaton served as Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis from 2015 to 2023. Throughout his tenure, he dedicated himself to the development and well-being of the country, playing an instrumental role in fostering unity, promoting democracy, and championing social progress. His contributions to St. Kitts and Nevis were far-reaching, and his passing marked the end of an era. Flying national flags at half-mast is the most symbolic gesture that serves as a visible sign of respect, mourning, and remembering for a significant figure who has passed away. It is an universally recognized gesture that expresses a collective sense of loss and honors the contribution of the deceased. This act not only pays tribute to the individuals, but provides solace and closure to the grieving community and country. The Drew administration's delay in declaring flags to be flown at half-mast in honor of Sir Tapley Seaton has sparked public concern and disappointment. Citizens view this as a missed opportunity to demonstrate unity and reverence for an influential leader who dedicated his life to the nation. Many expected an immediate announcement and swift impact given the impact of Sir Tapley Seaton's legacy. And it goes on to say the St. Kitts Nevis, a nation known for a strong sense of community and respect for its leader, eagerly awaits the Drew administration's declaration to fly flags at half-mast in honor of the late Sir Tapley Seaton, among other gestures of national mourning. This symbolic gesture would not only honor the memory and remarkable individual, but also provide solace in grieving. Okay, so I think that was a repeat of perhaps the last paragraph.
So as far as we know, it still hasn't been done.
I haven't heard anything.
Because remember that article would have been from over the weekend, and I would like to think that the fallout from it not being done in a timely fashion would have probably galvanized them to do something. So presumably it's been fixed already. So someone can call us and tell us if the flags are at half-mast now.
Yeah.
So what do you credit? What do you attribute that?
I really don't know. I mean, when I saw the article, my mind began to wander. I don't know what's happening. I await the government as it relates to that, but it's something of that would concern many of us in relation to the fact that he has served so well in his capacities, and he is an immediate. Okay, so wait, and someone now message me and says flag was flown at half-mast for Amory, and then someone else over the weekend had indicated to me that when Sir Clement passed, the same was done for him, and so persons are wondering, what's happening now in relation to our very loved and very respected former Governor General Sir Tapley Seaton. Someone messaged me just now and saying that the fact that nothing has been done in relation to that is very disgraceful. Yes.
Okay, so it's 8:30. We're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna come back with guess what? Traffic talk. That's coming up next.
Yes.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
Be careful on the road. Don't make it an episode. Attention all drivers, I'm begging you to slow it down, slow it down, slow it down, down, down. Too many stop drivers on the road, man. With the fire day, driver, what's your emergency? It's better late than never. So why all the hurry? Speeding is the main cause of plenty mishaps. The road is now a racetrack, threatening life and property, and all the result of that led to death and injury. Inconsiderate driving, this nonsense need to stop. Stop. I'm making it my business to alert all motorists, especially those who love to break traffic laws. I have seen what speed can do. Here I am to your rescue to help you to live. Just take this advice I give.
And that's Hollywood giving all the advice you ever need when it comes to conducting yourself in traffic. But just in case the song doesn't cut it, here is Officer Henry. Morning,
Yes.
Sophie. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine, thank you.
You know, when you said Officer Henry, I was almost taken aback because usually you say Sophie.
We are formal this morning.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Azard, and how are you?
I'm good. Thanks. God be praised.
That's good, thank God.
Yes.
Yes, this month our topic will be restriction on traveling of motor omnibuses. And the law also talk about passenger trucks, but we don't use passenger truck anymore. And in Regulation 40 of the Vehicles and Road Traffic Act speaks to that. No passenger omnibus shall stop to allow passenger on or off except in such area as designated by the licensing authority. And this means that each omnibuses, we have east, we have west, and we also have the north, which is St. Peter's. And each omnibuses have various designated area where to offload passengers or unload. We have the East Bus Terminal, we have the West Bus Terminal, which is by the ferry, and we also have the North one, which is St. Peter's bus stop. Except in such regulation, no motor omnibus or passenger truck shall travel in any part of the town of Bastille which does not lie on one of the routes specified. This means that if you are going off the route, you must have something from the Minister of Transport giving you such permission. Outside of that, you're driving off the bus route, and that is an offense. Picking up passengers in an area that is not designated as a bus stop is also an offense. And these bus routes, we have the north, eastern route. This one is traveling from Wellington Road, down Johnson Street, that's the road where the buses used to go down before, onto Pond Road, across Sandon Road to the Bay Road, return along that same route. And for that route, there's a bus stop, but that is in an area where a traffic light is. For now, it is there, but I think eventually it shall be removed. That's the one just outside of the Sands Complex. For the western route now, that is the one coming from Old Road area. Entering the west, continue along Keon Street, Cunningham Street, Horsford Road, that's the road by the Red Cross building, Wilkins Street, that's the one going down by the Cenotaph, and then to the Bay Road, and returning that same route.
Wait, which one is Wilkin?
Wilkins Street is the one by the Cenotaph.
You mean the one going up?
Down by the Cenotaph?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, going straight across to, I think, Trafalgar area. All that is Wilkins Street.
Oh, you mean the one that goes straight up?
And straight down to the Bay Road.
Straight down. Oh,
you
that's-
come down, and when you get
really?
to the cenotaph, that's the Bay Road.
I don't think I knew that.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's the same route going back to that location. We have the Monk Hill one, which we call the St. Peter's one. You come down College Street, got to the Bay Road, return along the same route back to College Street. Anything outside of that is driving off the bus route. You have some provision where you can go off the bus route if you're going to refuel your bus. But you should not have passenger in the bus with you. The driver alone, go to the bus station, or if you're going to the mechanic shop. These are some areas that you can drive outside the bus route if you do not have permission or concession permission from the Minister of Transport. We see people, or we see buses stopping here, there, and everywhere. That is not designated as bus route. We have bus stops. When you're coming from the Bay Road, you have one by Horsford Street. You have one, I think, by Five Ways. You come across, you have by the Dr. William Connor School. You have one by Cardin Avenue, that's by the Methodist Church. You go across, you have by Best Buy. But some person, they're gonna wait, stop here for me. And the busman is doing that, which that's an offense.
And you know what? As a driver, oftentimes the bus drivers stop the bus, and then at the same time they put out the hand to stop the traffic from allowing the traffic to pass. And somewhat, I mean, I guess it's a courtesy for some, to allow the adult to pass by. But sometimes in the very busy time, I'm thinking, I could understand children, but sometimes adults, they stop whole traffic so the adult could cross the road, which I understand sometimes could be courtesy, but then when you have a lane of traffic, sometimes I think is a mechanism to prevent other busmen from passing, and not necessarily because of the person who wants to cross the road.
Yes, we get that report a lot of times. They stop and they just stop in the middle of the road.
Yes.
You drop alongside the left side of the road and put off the passenger. Not stopping the road to cause obstruction, because remember, that's an offense.
Yeah, and it's not even, as you said, designated stop. So they stop at random stops at any point in time on the road, and then afterwards they then obstruct the traffic by holding out their hand. And again, for them, they think, it's a matter of courtesy for them, but at the same time, it's not a designated stop, and the traffic behind is,
Yes. We as drivers, as buses drivers, we have to control our passengers, not the passengers control us. Because when we get the ticket, the passenger is not going to pay for it.
And sometimes they stop one moment here and then the next moment there. And I've been a passenger on buses before, especially as a child, And sometimes, to the credit is as you said, is the passengers. The passengers are saying, well, they ain't walking there. And even if it's just a few steps, they won't come out, and then sometimes the bus driver doesn't know, and then you hear stop here again. So.
And then sometimes when you go and you give them the ticket, the passengers are abusing you. They're abusing the police. But you have to control your passengers and do not let the passengers control you. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be faced with the penalty.
Let me ask you a question. Am I correct when you said so the buses can go up Wilkins Street now?
Up Wilkins Street onto Horsford Road.
Oh.
Wilkins Street, Horsford Road.
Oh.
Not go straight up to Trafalgar.
Oh.
No. But I'm telling you where Wilkins Street runs from.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
No.
Okay.
Going up Wilkins
so
Street
and
and
then
then
make the right
onto Horsford Road.
Right. That's what
Yes.
was confusing me. But let me ask you a question. Isn't it the fact that the bus drivers keep changing, some of them just do as they like and they'll drive where they're not supposed to drive. Have you guys ever considered maybe looking at it to see, well, it could be that maybe it's just easier for them to drive contrary to what y'all prescribe? Meaning, okay, for example, I know they're not supposed to come down Then that's also come down. What's that road called?
Fort Thomas
Fort
Road.
Thomas Road, for
And
example.
they love to do that.
Yeah.
And there's a sign right there.
Is that more a safety thing?
No, but there's a sign right there saying no matter how many buses beyond this point or whatever. It's right there on a lamp pole
But my issue
on the left.
My issue isn't there so much. The reason I asked is because I was thinking, wouldn't it be just as good or make maybe even a little more sense to drive up to let's say up Wilkin Road, right? Up Wilkin Street, and make a right onto what's that street called? What's that street called? Where Tony
Wrigley Avenue?
Yeah, and then go straight up, and then come out there. Wouldn't that make?
But
more?
remember, there's a school zone also, and there's a residential area.
Okay, all right. No, because I always wondered what was the rationale for saying, well, this is the particular route you should use versus, I'm not saying it's wrong, all right. I just wondered.
Yeah, but that's the
Okay.
bus route, and that is the route that the drivers must follow, should follow.
And I agree with you, they should follow because
Yes.
the same people.
You go across Irish Town, remember there's a lot of children live across there, and there's a residential area.
Which is why I asked if it's a safety thing, because
Yes.
there's not really a sidewalk, for example, on Fort Thomas Road. So I agree. I
and then we get reports of how they're dashing across. It's not a highway, and that's a wrong area for you to drive.
You want to take a call? So
Sure.
Okay. Caller, go right ahead. Traffic talk.
Hi, good morning, John. Good morning, officer.
Hi, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Quite interesting. I just want to add a few things to what have been said. But I've noticed of late, and it's been happening for a while, I think, that when bus drivers put up their passengers, they ask the passengers to cross the road at the front of the vehicle, and they're putting out their hand to stop the vehicle.
I was saying the same exact thing this morning, caller. I was saying
I-
same exact
I
thing.
also operate public service vehicles. And what I do with passengers, when I put you up, I ask you to stand by the side of the road, and I will leave, and an oncoming driver will give you the courtesy to cross. When they do so, then you could cross, but I cannot give you from here. So the choice is yours from here. You wait by the side of the road until I leave, and so who is following the oncoming traffic? They have a better position to stop the flowing traffic behind them so that you could cross. No accident will happen in Keys, and children live in Keys for years. They cross the road, and nothing happened until some driver intervened and start playing with the children's head. The other thing I will say is that I noticed of late, there are a lot of accidents that have been happening that should not have even happened. I want to say, whoever, whether you're riding free, are you paying for a driver to drive you, and the driver is driving fast, ask them to slow down. If they don't slow down, ask them to stop. When they stop, you get out of the vehicle and you tell them, go ahead, it's okay. Because the thing is, TDC don't order spare parts for humans. Neither Hartford, they only order spare parts for cars. Most of the accidents occur, only people get injured are the passengers and the driver walk away. So therefore, I don't see the necessary things for losing control of the vehicle easily. Sometimes it could happen, accident, but for the speed, you're not an ambulance driver. You could have urgently sometime, but driving fast and reckless, those two don't go together. Have a good day. I hope we'll continue to live safe with each other and respect each other on the road, dim our lights, and flash our lights when we see somebody have on the bright to remind them that the bright is in our face. Keep your windscreen clean, and that way we'll be able to see better on the road. So I think we should try our best to be courteous and drive safer with each other.
Caller, before you
Thank you
go,
very much,
before
and
you
do have
go,
a good day.
before you go, sorry.
Well,
Before you
go
go,
ahead.
in fact, the first point that you made, I want to talk about that because I thought I was among the few who picked up that. I, in fact, was telling the officer that I realized that they have done it a number of times, and sometimes they do it without even putting out their hand, and you don't even have any indication that someone is crossing the road, and it's very dangerous, and they're obstructing the traffic.
Sometimes someone is sitting in a seat, and you trying to be. Well, you should be courteous to your customers,
Yeah.
and you should try your best, your endeavor best to see how best you can assist them. But in the meantime, while you're doing that, you're jeopardizing their welfare
Yes.
and incoming drivers. And I agree with you. I take your point strongly. Sometimes you have to take the bull by the hand. You can't control them, but you could tell them, don't cross in front of you.
Yeah.
Let you go and let them get out.
Exactly.
Let them get out of the vehicle, stand there, and while there's some other vehicle that is coming behind you, they have better control of the traffic than you who are sitting position in your seat. You cannot direct traffic in a still position in your seat. You don't walk that way.
Exactly.
And so while you're at a standstill, just drive up and leave the passenger, and the passenger will cross the road when time fit to do so.
And
Thank
the
you very much
adults,
for giving us the information. Sorry, right?
And I was saying the adults, I could understand in situations where they're children and you're trying to ensure that, the children get across.
Safely, yeah.
But in these...
But you see, remember, each vehicle have what you call a spillway. We drive on our left-hand side.
Yes.
And the spillway means that you get out where a non-traffic area is. And the children go to shops, they go up and down the place, they cross the road without you. And so while they're able to function without you, you don't have to worry about them. They know how to handle themselves better than even you, the adult. Children, don't take your eye off of them, they're smarter than you think.
And sometimes...
Look, listen 3 times before you cross.
And I think what they do that, I think they do that as a tactic because they don't want the other bus to pass them while they pull off their passengers, so they put out their hand to stop everybody from passing them. It's not a
valid point.
I don't think it's genuine concern for the adults.
At the cost and the expense of somebody else's limb and joint.
Yes.
It should not happen.
Yes.
So trying to be courteous and pretending that you are, at the same time you're looking at making money. But police won't be everywhere, and they can't be everywhere, no matter what.
Yes.
We who drive must police ourselves because the police work for us and we must work for the police. We must work together because if we fail to do so, we will have disaster that we could regret for the rest of our life. Limbs and joint and tongue and hit and so on by vehicle. Don't weaponize the vehicle. Don't weaponize it. It was used to facilitate you from going back and forth and so on. And be courteous to each other on the road.
So true.
It's simple. It ain't so difficult. Sometimes if I drive past somebody tell me slow down, I say thank you. Thank you because they're reminding me. I'm only human and I forget so soon.
Yes.
Thank you, gentlemen, ladies. Traffic officer, have a good day.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank
Have
you,
a wonderful
caller.
day, caller.
But to that point, I think it was last week or the week before when I was coming to work. I saw a school bus stop just outside the bus terminal up there,
Right.
and I noticed he kind of turned the
Slant.
car.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that done before. They do it in Canada, and that some of the
The
buses
school
have.
buses, them usually
Yeah, they
it
do it.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was the first
When
time
they
I
put off
saw it.
children.
Yeah.
So
go
I
to
thought,
school,
that's interesting. I never seen that done here. And I
Yeah.
thought that was good.
Yeah.
So, but then AZ such a cynic. I mean,
What do you mean?
no, saying that. I'm just kidding. But
Yeah,
saying
right.
that when you said about the bus drivers, them doing that is not so much about the safety
No,
of
that's
the
different
passengers.
because
It's more.
if the school bus is different because they're not competing with
I know,
everyone.
but
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
sometimes
saying.
buses do
shouldn't-
that for school children when they reach by
Yeah.
Oh,
the
okay.
school. Yeah, they will.
And that's why I was
slant
saying
in
that I
the
could
road.
understand with the children. But when you have adults who are in their 30s, their 40s, able adults, and you're crossing them across the road, I'm like, is that genuine or is it that you're just
They don't want the
preventing
other
don't-
driver
the
don't
other
want
bus
to
pass,
driver
yes.
from passing you?
Yeah.
And then remember, if you stop on a crossing by a crossing, you're not supposed to overtake by a crossing.
Yeah, that's terrible.
But
Terrible
some persons want to do that still.
Let's take a call. Traffic Talk, you're on the air. Okay, on to the next. Traffic Talk, you're on the air.
Yes. A
Hey.
pleasant good Monday morning to everybody.
Good morning,
Morning.
police without pay.
Yeah. I want to give the first caller one big correct and his slate. Because he has said it so correct that nothing else could be said to that.
Yes.
But mark it. Now, I agree with him. Just this week here, we had too many accidents in the week, and we had far too many in one day. And it's all because a lot of what you call trickery and attention and ignorance with a lot of them people. Now, officer, I have a question. I understand and which I support. The buses them supposed to stop at the designated
Areas.
bus stops
Yes.
to pick up their passengers and also put off. Well, coming from the west line to down the bus terminal, they do not have any problem if they divert off the route. Let's say they're coming from Sandy Point and someone in the bus feels sick and they want to go to hospital, they don't have no problem because they're not going to be off the route. They just swing in the hospital yard.
That's something different.
Yeah, okay. Now, suppose somebody coming from East Line over here, Monkey Hill, and someone in the bus fell well ill, and another person in there looking after them, and the bus decided, well, boy, I now have to drive up Cairn Street to go to the hospital. Do you think they have to get permission from the transportation department to drive off the route for that?
No, sir. That's somebody's life at
Some police might see
risk.
them and say you off the route, and some of them.
No. That's somebody's life at risk. Somebody's not feeling well.
Oh,
Yes, so.
well, yeah, that should have been explained to them because some ignorant police will look to say you off the route and I'm going to summon you.
Now, once you can
They wouldn't
provide
want
such
to hear-
valid information,
Yeah, they would not want to hear what the reason why you're off. Because a guy called a time and said that he gets summons from a police because he was in certain area with a pillion. And the police summons him, the police walk and cope him and summons him. So that's the reason why I asked the question. But I can tell you something now, going now, you know. Too many police in one spot when they're supposed to be spread out. And they would be able to deter people from coming or driving, going that direction to commit the stupidness. Look at what happened last week up Greenland. Look at that that kind of accident up here. In town on Greenland, well, if that driver know that police was frequent on the road, especially in Basti where a lot of police are spread out, that person there might have cut down the speed and they would not have done that ignorance. But too many police spread out where they're not supposed to be, and where they're supposed to be, they don't deploy them out there. Thank you very much for listening.
thank you, caller. But remember, the police can be here, there, and everywhere.
I know that.
Yes,
I
the
know
police
that.
can
I
patrol,
said-
but after the police leave that area, something can happen. The police could
Yeah,
just
I
turn
said,
off from
listen to
there.
me. Listen to me. When people know they ain't going to see no police on the street patrolling, I didn't say everywhere, because they know they don't see no police patrolling. That's the reason why they don't get away with a lot of nonsense. Because if they know they're going to meet up a police on this road or that road, patrolling, not standing up like a lamppost, they wouldn't do foolishness. And that is the problem. Too many police go on one place, standing up one big guarding one thing, when they could be out patrolling, walking or driving, riding or whatsoever it is. That is the problem there. They're not deployed where they're supposed to be, patrol. Not standing up one place guarding one thing. Too many of them. Sorry to get so emotional, man. Okay.
Thank you, caller.
Okay, let's move to the next call. Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Hey,
Good
good
morning.
morning.
One sympathizes with the police department in regards to the complaints of bus drivers using unauthorized routes and also having unauthorized stops. The challenge, however, is that one gets the impression that someone who gets a moving violation or some other traffic infraction violation as a motorist is either unlucky or should feel they're being picked on. Because when one considers the quantum of offences that go unchallenged, and all of the excuse the police can't be everywhere. The problem is that with regards to traffic violations, we constantly have this situation where police officers turn a blind eye. And the attitude seems to be, I'm not a traffic police officer. So it's either the traffic wardens or person in the traffic department who enforce these rules, but the ordinary police officer does not. I recall bus drivers being even afraid to drive along Lozak Road, not Long Heath, Lozak Road, because they're likely to get the ticket. Today, they drive all over with impunity. They take the shortcut rather than going along Pond Road and Sandon Road, if they're coming from the east side to get to the bus terminal. They come along and go down the side street, or when they're coming back, they come up to Independence Square. And they know they are not going to get the ticket. And that is the challenge. Until the law seems to be enforced at all times by all police officers, we will have all these infractions. With regards to the buses, the school buses, I think it's a very good idea. Unfortunately, the law does not have their support. because on this same program some time ago, when that was mentioned, the officer who was on the program, and inspector at the time, said, that is wrong, and we will give them a ticket. When we know that all they're doing is trying to protect children. I know, for example, in the state of New York, one is not allowed to overtake a school bus that is stopped from either direction. You will not overtake it from the back, and if you're coming in the opposite direction, as long as the school bus is stopped, you cannot go past it in order to ensure that children can cross the street safely. I support that idea, but the drivers carrying children must know that they have the support of the police department, not individual police officers who think it should be done, and others who say, no, they are breaking the law, we don't care. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlo. Yes, and I
That's
agree with
a
you.
good point. So, is it explicitly a law
That's what.
concerning the school buses doing that slant thing, kind of protective thing for?
But it's not really in the law, but that's what's
Okay.
being done.
Okay.
Yes. And even I said the passenger buses do it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But
Because
then,
I see it several times.
but then to AZ's cynical point.
No, but he's talking
Well, I'm
about
talking
not
about the
adults.
I'm
I know,
talking,
I know,
yeah,
I
I'm talking
know,
about the
I know,
adults.
I
But
know.
children
I
that
know.
go into school.
I could understand on a busy
Yeah.
road, children going to school, and you do
Because
that.
they will do it at Dr. William Connor.
Yeah.
I see them do it at, I think it's Boyd's School.
Yeah.
Vanty Welch.
Yeah, no,
Even
yeah.
in all order.
I could understand that, but imagine Sophie gets on a bus, and then Sophie stops the bus, and then they're putting out Sophie, and they're saying, you know, Sophie cross the road.
Yeah, but then the thing is that people like to overtake.
Yeah.
And then the first thing the bus going to say, oh, well, the bus driver going to say, oh,
Okay, let's take our last call. Caller, go right ahead. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Oh, hi,
good morning, good morning to the traffic police.
good morning.
Now, I'm calling in connection with the Dial-A-Ride bus, which is a bus that transports disabled people.
Okay.
But I don't know what the law is. But sometimes I go down to take the bus, and you know, not one person will stop. My daughter told me, I use a cane, a white cane.
Yeah.
In Barbados, they have two color canes. Those who partially blind, I guess the officer might know, their cane will be green and white. But it seems as though the canes have no meaning in St. Kitts. Because the Dial-A-Ride, our bus would stop, put on its light, whichever light, and you'll be down the, talking on Panwood,
Yes.
which to me seemed to be a highway. And you down there nearly 5 minutes, you know? No, they could see the cane because I put it in front of me where they could see it. Nobody stops. So, is there anything that you all tell them about it? Because it should have some relevance.
Caller, not as far as I know, then we'll have to educate the bus drivers on that. That is
Not
something
the
we'll have
bus
to be
drivers
educated.
alone you're not talking about on Panwood, where the buses and the private vehicles.
Yeah.
Nobody want to stop.
Or stop for you to cross, you mean?
Yeah, for you to cross to get to the bus.
Uh-huh.
Is the bus dropping off people?
Yes.
They're flying through as if, and then on the bus, I don't know if the bus should mark disabled instead of Dial-A-Ride. Because by now, most people should know the bus on the size of the bus. Is there something should be painted on the bus so that drivers could see that disabled people are in it?
I can't say, but that is something we'll have to educate drivers on. That is something I have to be educated on, Carlo.
Well, please do it.
Yes.
Because it put my life at risk and other people. Sometimes we go down to drop off people. It takes a long for the people to get out
Yeah.
because some of them are disabled.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is even giving them a little space.
To get off.
So maybe you should discuss it as a topic and consider the cane business. As I said, they use two color canes in Barbados. I don't know about the other countries. You might find out.
Okay, then I have
The
to come
white
and
is for
sit with you,
those who are
Carlo.
totally blind, and those who are partially blind now have problems. They use a green and a white cane. So that they should know when they see the cane and the person waiting. You know, they could slow down or something and let people pass.
Yes.
All right then. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller, for that.
Thank you
Yeah,
for your
that's a good
contribution.
point. So, I guess in a case like the cane thing, for example, if we adopted the cane thing, that would probably be something you would have to maybe have the driving instructors teach
Yes.
them, and then maybe add it to the exam as well. But then here's an idea for y'all. If y'all do adopt that, it might be a good idea to put a legend on the bus, like so that.
Disabled persons or whatever.
Yeah, but I
think
mean,
they're
like,
on
but like,
something.
I mean, like private, for example,
Yeah.
like private motors, there's city bus, and there's city bus, and
They'll
there's no,
stop.
yeah.
The bus
So
courtesy,
you know,
yeah.
yeah. So and then after maybe constantly seeing it, they'll,
That's a topic we can come with, but I'll have to sit down with the caller and find out about these canes and,
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So,
Sophie, give you the last.
yeah, because
last
it's
word.
9:02 and we
Yeah.
have some other
Yeah.
guests. Yes.
Okay. When we talk about the traffic wardens, the drivers do not respect them. And remember, the license authority may appoint traffic warden to undertake such function on this act or regulation in connection with the control and regulation of or the enforcement of law relating to traffic, and also including pedestrians. So when you say a traffic warden steps out in the road, please to stop and let them do what they are doing. And remember, the life we save might be our very own.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you this morning. Thank you to everyone listening. We want to thank we want to thank Sergeant Henry, affectionately known to us as Sophie, for coming this morning and, engaging with us on Traffic Talk. We have some guests from the Huldah School of Huldah Lawrence
yeah.
School of Music, and we're going to take a short break and get back to the
Okay.
program.
Sophie, leave.
What you said? What you said? What you said, leave?
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Where the people them who say they cook grilled fish, chicken or pork, so you feel your bad on. People are telling your food tastes good. Well, the Grill Fest competition slated for July 22nd on the Frigate Bay lawn. Plenty cash prizes up for grab in each category. Third place $1,000, second place $1,500, and first place will get $3,000 plus a trophy. Yeah, money plus bragging rights. Check out our social media pages on Instagram and Facebook. Look for Kittition Heartbeat. And parents, don't worry. We'll have the children occupied at the Kids Zone, bouncing castles, and all the kid stuff, so you can have some time to mingle and taste some delicious food. So remember to check out the Grill Fest competition July 22nd on the Frigate Bay lawn from 1 p.m. until 7 p.m. Bring the entire family and enjoy all kind of grilled food.
When it comes to pork chop, I love eating pork chop.
Switch for a better mortgage with Bond. Come and visit us today and let's discuss your future. The Bank of Nevis Limited is encouraging all customers to come to the bank that cares. Switch for an attractive low interest rate, 100% financing. Yes, you heard correct. Additionally, up to 30 years repayment available. Commitment fee waived. Legal fee waived. And any additional fees can be included within the loan. That's right. We are providing solutions at Bond Strong. Switching has never been this easy. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Special terms and conditions apply. Offer ends July 30th, 2023.
You can bank on it. You can put 100 grand on it. Anything I said, I stand on it.
We're here with some students from the Huldah Lawrence School of Music. I'm going to ask each one of you to tell me your name and tell me about your participation at the school.
Good morning. My name is Maya Bryan. I started the school this year.
Okay, this year. Okay, wow. Yeah. So what grade are you in at the
Grade 1.
Grade 1. Okay, then awesome.
Good morning. My name is Taylor Giff. I've been in the school since 2019.
2019, okay.
Hi, my name is Ashera Lennon, and I joined the school last year.
Last year, okay. So, you're 2019, you're last year, and you're recent. Last year or this year?
This year, but I used to a different piano before.
Oh, so you're not a stranger to music then?
No.
Okay then. So tell me about it. Tell me, this is your first concert?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
No, not for me.
Not for you. This is number what?
Number 2.
Number 2. Okay then. Nice. So how has it been playing music, the piano? What inspired you to join the class?
How it works.
Mm-hmm.
I like to see the strings behind it, especially the grand piano.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, as my older sister, and everybody loves music. So when you hear music, you want to be able to do it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that was my inspiration, try and start it out.
Okay.
I come from a very musical family, so it's like a gene thing. So is what I want to do, is what I like to do.
Awesome. So what grade are you in and what grade are you in?
1.
Grade 1.
Grade 2.
Grade 2.
Yeah.
So you would have sat the exams already. I know that there are overseas exams that take on the theory and the practical.
Yeah, I did the theory.
Okay then. How was it? Was it good?
It was different because now with the exams, some people expect to sit down in a room and write. But during this time, it was during the pandemic, so I had to do it online. So it's kind of difficult because a lot of things that you normally do in an exam room you couldn't really do because it's on a program. So you had to be careful with what you do. Then you had to have an adult in the background just to be there just in case.
Who was the adult? Was the adult an independent person or anyone that you choose?
No, it was my father.
Your father?
Yeah.
Okay then. But you two haven't done any exams as yet?
I have.
No.
Oh, you have?
I have.
What? So tell me about your experience with the exam.
It was weird.
Mm-hmm. You did it online as well?
Yes. I had to take my laptop and show my entire room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Wow. Just to say, I too attended the Huldah Lawrence School of Music when I was about your age.
Oh, wow.
So I have some thoughts of, I know where you're coming from in terms of the music and in terms of the theory and the exams. It's good to see that the students continue to come every year. And there's new faces. How is the school?
Good so far.
Good so far.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Fun.
Awesome. So you've spoken about the reasons for you coming to the Huldah Lawrence School of Music. For you started before. For you had parents, sibling in the school, and for you came from a musical family. What do you see yourself doing at the end of the day in terms, not at the end of the day literally, but what you see yourself doing after your time at the School of Music? You see yourself perhaps participating in concerts, playing at church, at recitals? What you see yourself doing?
For me, my stepmother want me to play in church, but for me, I feel that I need a little bit more practice, so I can master my skills first before I jump into something that I may really know a lot about.
Okay, understand. What about you, Maya? You see yourself on the stage? You see yourself with a grand piano in the future, playing?
Probably. Self-confidence is something that I don't really know how to deal with right now, but we'll see.
Okay. What are you, Miss Lennon?
Definitely.
Definitely. Okay, good. Let me ask you, what schools do you go to differently in terms of academic schools? What school you go to?
Bastia High School.
Bastia High School. Bastia. SEMS. Okay then. Cool. So this is the concert that's going to be had at the Huldah School of Lawrence. When is the concert?
Tomorrow, July 4th.
7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m.
At the St. George's Anglican Church.
Awesome. And all of you would be playing?
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell me about the pieces that you'll be playing?
Well, mine is sort of a mysterious piece. It's called The Detective.
Yes.
I actually like it. That's my favorite one. Yeah.
Tell me about it a little more. Why is it your favorite piece?
How you go about it? You go from soft to loud to really loud to soft to loud to soft again. And it's how the composer wrote it. That's why I like it so bad.
Okay, awesome. So soft, loud again.
For me, I will be playing a hymn, Wonderful Words of Life.
Okay then. Okay, what about you?
I will also be playing a hymn, I Surrender All.
Okay, awesome. And this concert, could you tell me which number is this?
The 39th.
The 39th. So it's going to be the 39th. So the school has been hosting this concert for 39 years.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. The first concert being held when?
1982.
Okay, good. You know your history. So, and you've already said the date is tomorrow, July 4th, and you already said it's going to be 7 p.m., and you have already said where is it going to be at?
St. George's
Anglican Church.
Okay, then. So tell me, what can I expect? What kind of music can I expect? I've already know that each of you are going to be playing, but other than you guys playing, what else can I expect?
Classical, jazz, church music, modern music, and choruses, songs.
Original compositions by Lady Lawrence. The theme song, she wrote that.
Yes.
And also another song that we will be singing on
So,
that day.
let me ask you guys still sing music, sweet music?
Yes.
Yeah.
We bring you tonight. We play the piano for your delight. We raise our voices to enchant your ears. Music we have prepared and with the utmost care. You guys know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and that's the theme song that you guys would
Use
sing
every year.
Yeah. It's for you guys, I mean, I guess when you're older and you reflect, you see how important this time is. Because you use it at time to mingle with other persons in it and socialize. So could you tell me too, what are the concerts used for?
For fundraisers.
Fundraisers.
Yeah.
Okay then. Any special any special goal it's going towards this year?
Yes, to the St. Peter's Anglican Church.
The St. Peter's Anglican Church. Okay then. Yeah. Okay. What about last year? Who was the major beneficiary last year?
Middle Island, I think.
The St. Thomas Anglican Church.
St. Thomas Anglican Church.
$8,000 was contributed to them for roof repairs.
Wow. And this year is going to be the St. Peter's.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, wonderful. That's really good. And you said $8,000. Wow, that's a good amount of money that was contributed. Yeah. So how are your teachers there at the school, Mrs. Lawrence and everybody?
They're great.
Awesome.
Bring the liveliness.
It's always fun.
Let me ask you, what is your favorite composition from the School of Music in terms of hymns or the songs that have been composed by the teachers there? What is your favorite? Which one is your favorite?
The music song.
The music, sweet music?
Yeah.
I know every year she had that one, and then she would have other songs that she would create as time go by.
Yes.
How many things can I
Yes, that.
Yes. So that's one you like, or that's one you're going to be singing this year?
Yeah,
we're going to be
both
singing
actually.
that.
Yes.
That was fun.
Yeah. It's really good. Because it's not only playing music, but it's actually using your vocals as well.
Yeah.
Singing.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How many concerts does the School of Music hold each year?
Two
each year.
Yeah. Okay then. Great. And over the last 38 years, how were the concert funds used?
Directed towards children home, the guidance home, and Anglican churches.
And people who roofs burned down from fires. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Churches are the main beneficiaries.
Churches.
Yes, churches.
Okay then. Really good. And I was asking the question, how many concerts are held per year?
Yeah,
two each year. In July and in December.
Okay, so we're in July now. Yes, in December. Could you tell me what time in December usually it's held?
Probably either around the week or 2 weeks after school close, or probably mid-December.
So it's something that we could expect around that time when school is out.
Yes.
Just before Carnival, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay then. So let me ask you, I don't think I have your age. I didn't ask you your age, innit?
No.
So could you tell me your age so persons could understand, the background that you come from, and you said you started piano before.
Yeah, 2018.
2018. Oh, so you started 2019.
Yeah, but I started going to Miss Swanston before.
Oh, you started going to Miss Swanston.
I went to Miss Swanston, but she passed.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So I moved to Miss Lawrence this year.
Okay. Wow. Oh wow. So for a period in time, you were without a teacher because Miss Swanson passed some time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay then. What about you? You went to Miss Swanston as well?
Yeah, I went to Miss Swanston, but then about in 2019 is when I really switched to Miss Lawrence, because at that time, as I said, my older sister was going, and at Brown that time when I was getting closer, so yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Me?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You did. How old are you, Maya?
13.
13.
15.
15.
14.
14. 13, 14, 15. Okay then. Yes. Okay, so we have some young people here, and they are students of the Halder Lawrence School of Music. That has been happening. This concert has been happening for 39 years. Yes. So that's tremendous. So tell me, do you have persons in your classes who also attend the music class, the music school?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay then. So persons in your class, what class are you in?
Well.
And in terms of school, what farm are you in?
I'm in second farm, going to third farm.
Going to third farm.
People from Miss Swanson come there too, so I know them before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm in third farm, going to fourth farm.
Okay then. And you have persons at your school in your farm who also go to the school as well?
Yeah.
Okay then. Same likewise for you at SEMS?
Third farm to fourth.
Third farm to fourth farm. But you find a lot of persons from SEMS go to the school?
Not really.
Not really.
Not that I know of.
Okay,
actually.
so what I'm getting at is a lot of persons who attend the Bastille High School and the schools in town perhaps go to the Huldah Lawrence School of Music.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot of people.
That's the next question I want to ask. How many, could you tell me an estimate of the number of persons now?
No, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's like you come to practice like this week because it's concert time.
Yeah.
And it's like everybody. So much people that you never see before.
Wonderful, yeah. I could imagine how many persons are there now, especially at the concert. And now you have brought to the attention that, Miss Swanson used to teach and she's no longer there, and a lot of her students are now participating, and are students at the Huldah Lawrence School of Music. That increases the number of students that she would have had initially from the get-go. Yeah. So you tell me this is your first time at the concert?
At this concert. I did one before with Miss Swanson.
Yeah, okay. And what are you looking forward to? How is it different to you? Based on having been at Miss Swanson, I know you haven't done this one, but the preparation, and in terms of the preparation, how has it been?
Yeah. Well, it has not been bad, honestly. Kind of fun. It's kind of the same, but it has different ways.
Okay.
Good. I like both of them so far.
Okay. What stands out to you in terms of the difference? You say it has some ways. Give me the good.
I'm playing this year.
Oh, you're playing this year. Okay, yes. Yeah. Okay.
Because in the last one I was singing only.
Okay then. What about you?
Well, this year looking forward to, because my older sister, she actually back in St. Kitts right now, and she probably the best piano player in the family. So, know that me and her kind of close in age. I can show who really the best. So.
How old is she?
She 18.
She 18. Okay then. And how long has she been playing for?
Since she was 7.
Okay. Wow. Some time. What about you? What are you looking forward to at this concert? How has practice been?
Practice has been awesome.
Okay then, great. I know you guys usually go at different times, isn't it? You guys have seen each other before?
Yes.
Okay. So okay then. So what about you? So you go which days would you go? Mondays.
But for exam, Saturdays too.
What about you?
I go on Mondays.
You go on Mondays as well, so okay.
I usually used to go on Fridays, but since concert time, I've been just going through the week.
Oh wow. Okay then. Okay. So and so let me ask you this. You are now, some of you have already done the music exams. Except, Maya, you haven't.
I was preparing for it, but then I didn't get to do it. So I'm preparing for it again, but this time I will do it.
Okay then, good. You did the theory.
Yeah.
Did you do the practical as well?
No, not yet.
Okay, you did the theory.
Yes.
Not the practical as yet.
Preparing for the practical.
Okay then. So when is the practical?
Next week. I'm doing my next week.
Oh, next week is the
no, this week.
This week is the practical?
Yeah.
Okay, wow. What about you guys?
I don't know when mine is.
Okay then.
It's not a set date yet.
Okay then. So how come yours is this week?
Well, she said I could do it either last week or this week.
Okay then.
And I chose this week.
Okay then. Awesome. How are you feeling in relation to that?
Not bad. You're playing in front of a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay then.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So again, give me the time for the concert, the day of the concert, and where the concert will be held.
It's tomorrow.
7:30 p.m.
7:30.
And the St. George's
Anglican Church.
On Candisie Street.
And what do you want to tell people to encourage them to come out? Tell me.
It's a perfect place to spend your holiday. You can come and see people play and show their talent, and you're going to be really entertained with all that we bring in.
And get exposed to different types of music.
Okay, awesome. What about you?
I would say just come because, the the main reasons for the concert is to show like the young talent and also to raise funds for really good causes. So I would say like, come and support.
Okay. Well, I wish you all well at the concert tomorrow. Sing your hearts out. I look forward. Would it be streamed?
I don't know yet.
Okay then. I mean, it's good, and speaking to you bring back memories in some way of being a part of that school as well. So I want to say thank you for coming out. Thank you for being brave to speak about your experience showcasing what you have to offer. Okay.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Hey kids, drink healthy.
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking, football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Fruta full of vitamin thing. Real fruit juice, not full of vitamin. Pop open the goodness, just dive in. Fruta every night, fruta every morning.
It's the amazing taste and quality in fruit juice you've come to know and love. Anytime, anywhere, any occasion. Fruta is your tastier, better, healthier choice.
We got the vibes, fruta. Real nice, fruta.
And for the families, remember to pick up the 1 liter.
It's 9:30.
Busy.
That's good.
Yeah, thanks.
9:30, and we're ready for our next segment.
Oh, so we're on. Yes. So I'm here with Senator, the Honorable Iselene Phillip. She is the Junior Minister?
Minister of State.
Minister of State. And of course, with responsibility of
Social Development,
yes,
Gender Affairs, Youth,
yeah,
Aging and Disabilities.
Yes, and I'm also here with the Permanent Secretary within the ministry, Mrs. Zilla Clark. I feel like it's a sniper link up this morning.
We're having a reunion right now.
Yes. So tell me, what is happening within the Tell me what's happening within the ministry of
Social development?
Yes.
Of course. So, I mean, the reason we are here, we're doing a little bit of, public relations and just kind of getting some information out, particularly about our social assistance programming, with special attention to our cash transfer program, which is commonly known as the PAP, which stands for Poverty Alleviation. And so we actually came on board to be able to talk about that a little bit today. especially because I think there may be some misunderstandings, some questions just in the public space about what's happening with PAP. And I know that there has been communication, of course, about our
Yes.
restructuring of the program.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So we are just here, doing a little bit of public outreach so that we can, let
Mhm.
people know what's happening and the efforts that we're really making to see how we can support our vulnerable persons in
Mhm.
our communities. And so, of course, I have P.S. Clark here today,
Yes.
who has, the technical information, the systems and processes to be able to address some of the, I guess, concerns, misconceptions,
Mhm.
misgivings about what we're actually doing with
Yeah, I'm glad you guys are here actually to speak about the poverty alleviation program, because I know a lot of persons had concerns about what is the graduation period, and so whether or not you could really graduate from a program like that. So you guys are here and you guys will be able to give us the information as it relates to the poverty alleviation program.
Yes. And so, I mean, I don't know where you'd like us to start. Azard, if you want to
Yes.
start at the basic level in terms of
Yes,
what it is.
give us the whole, because before we know that a number of persons were on the program. Based on information and based on the social media, it seemed like a number of persons had to reapply, correct?
Yes, so there was a reapplication
Mhm.
process. Last year, we did ask everybody to reapply, and that was just part of us instituting a process
Mhm.
around the program so we can actually have a real idea of who is on and how and what the level of vulnerability is for persons.
And the criteria is the same?
So yes, the eligibility criteria, which was there from the former administration, was that the 3,000 households earning less than $3,000. It remained. We maintained that, although we weren't really sure what the basis of identifying that $3,000 was from the previous administration.
Mhm.
But we maintained that,
Mhm.
thinking that it would be important for us to be able to actually do some analysis and figure that out before we make any changes there. So that remained, but we did institute some priority groups to be able to identify persons who may be of most vulnerable. So that's why we instituted the seniors, persons with disabilities, the unemployed, and the employed with children. So we want to make sure we target those persons who we know are often most vulnerable in our communities and in need of this form of assistance.
Okay. So, and the remuneration is the same, the $500.
That is correct. So it is
Okay.
a $500 cash transfer assistance, and it's dispersed once every month on the last day of each
Okay.
month. That is how we've been processing it. So there's no, you get it in the middle. We kind of really try to stick to that process.
And about the graduation period, because a lot of persons, from the former administration, persons would have been receiving the $500 per month, and there was no talk about a graduation period. But now we're hearing about a graduation from the program. Is it after 6 months?
So what people we need to understand is, the idea for the graduation is it's about reevaluation. So it's a process that we've been instituting where, we've now tried to develop and evolve the program so it really does help to empower persons and remove them from the level of dependency, which I believe, is commonly people would agree that we don't want so much dependency on the state. So with the graduation, it's really about reevaluation. So we reevaluate your situation and your case before we figure out. So for example, there may be some persons who may be deceased, and it's like, okay, well, we can't keep paying this person, so it's time for you to be removed. There may be some persons who would have started unemployed and are now employed. And so, where you were getting zero before, now maybe you're getting a minimum wage, that leaves space for somebody else who may be unemployed to be able to get. So it's a matter of reevaluation. And, with that, we've been really piloting and instituting the case management approach so that we can actually produce and provide that reevaluation, which PS Clark can actually talk about in terms of who we've been working with and what that case management looks like. And this is part of what we're doing to see how we can further develop the program. Obviously, not everybody was able to go through the case management process since we are kind of restructuring and restarting, but a significant number of persons were able to kind of go through that process.
Okay, could you tell me how many persons currently are on the program?
Sure. As of June, our payment date was the 30th. 5,361 households received PAP payment.
No, wow. Okay.
I'll let that percolate for a
Yes.
moment. At the end of the re-registration, let me just back up. In October of last year, the Ministry of Social Development received responsibility for PAP.
Yeah.
Previously was under Sustainable Development. Now, with the transition, there were some anomalies that were already identified. PAP is a household benefit, not an individual benefit. So you had households that had multiple persons receiving the benefit, and that was not in congruence with the eligibility criteria. Also, like you stated, from December of 2017 onwards, persons were just receiving $500. Now, in the language and systems of social protection programs, cash alone doesn't solve your problems, because if it did, we will all not have problems, all right? But what it is, it's a gap between what your goals are and what services or knowledge you have to connect them both. That is what case management is. It's a planning and monitoring process where an individual is able to identify what their challenges and their goals are, and the state and private and civil society has a lot of services that persons just in the daily dredge of life does not know of to be able to make those things possible. So though persons would have been receiving the $500 and it was stated that it was to pay mortgages, pay public utilities, rent, a lot of persons did not use it for what it was for.
Yeah.
And so they had more debt despite receiving the benefit. So what this administration thought to do was to apply the social work principles that go along with the social protection program. It is short term. It is not sustainable for a state to maintain an individual infinitum. There must always be a process where, as I colloquially say, you need to give life a try. We're all giving it a try. It's not a perfect try, but we're giving it a try. So when persons would have had the opportunity to reapply or apply for the first time as of the end of December of last year, then we took the population and based on the priority areas that Cabinet identified, then we started, our seniors and disabled are managed by our aging and disabilities unit, because they have different modes for graduation. It's not expected to, because their underlying issues are where some of the challenges are. They don't have Social Security pensions, their health costs are exorbitant, and many of them do not have family supports. So these are some of the issues. Now, as the nerd that I am, these things excite me because we're finally able to look at a population. I think at the end of the PAP payment in last December, it was roughly like 7,500 payments were made. I can't say households because we had some duplications, but 7,500 payments were being made. So now we had a chance to look at what that is, because without information, you can't plan and you can't improve. And we've seen that keeping a person on a program for 6 years, 7 years, and months is not feasible, because without information, they keep making the same decisions that make them in that predicament. So now having an opportunity to look at the employed and unemployed with children, because children, of course, are one of our most vulnerable populations, we started to see some issues within the child maintenance, family support. We no longer have villages supporting children. You have unemployment. Of course, we're in the COVID recovery. You have a lot of persons that are interested in self-employment, but have never visited the Ministry of Small Business Development and Entrepreneurship. You have persons seeking homes. So we've been able now to ask persons, what are your goals? With that information, now we make connections with the entities in the public and private sector to be able to help them. I know Terrence is home, and I might not be able to afford it, but I'm putting a tab out. We need to be able to create a financial literacy budgeting curriculum. All right. Previously, we used to have the business of you pay your bills first, you fill your fridge, and then you entertain.
So what I'm getting from you is a more interactive.
Correct. Because we have
approach.
to know what your struggles are for the state to respond, because just giving you money does not work. All right. So one of the sessions most persons would have seen would have been a session with the Small Business Development Center, SBDC. So we had the top 3 needs of our populations that we are serving right now: employment, small business entrepreneurship, and housing. All right, so we've been able to make contacts with these ministries in order to do small development sessions with them. Housing is a little tricky because anybody that owns a home now, buying or purchasing the home is the first part of the disaster. Maintaining it is where the money comes in, insurance and all those kind of things. But we encourage persons to have those goals. So in keeping with NHC's pledge for smart home building in the coming months and years, we've been able to make a thing where they get information on it. How do you prepare yourself to become a homeowner? Because remember, there are fees that come with that. Not just paying the land and car. There are fees that come with that, connecting your electricity, your water, your insurance. So you start people saving for that goal. That used to be intrinsic for persons.
How receptive are the persons, though, to this?
Very.
Okay.
Very. We had 100% participation in the small business session that happened that Monday morning. On Monday morning, and persons came out in their numbers, and they stayed through it all, and they stated, this is the kind of information we always wanted. Because even on our end, the state does not do an excellent job of communications. I'll take that lash any day as a permanent secretary and a public servant. Because there are people going through just the drudges of life. I have an idea, I would like to do something. We've also seen it with the Taiwanese funded Women's Empowerment Entrepreneurship Project. A lot of people have ideas. And I think as a nation, we need to make it whereby the new age petition must make every skill or talent remunerable. Get something for it. You like to talk, get something. You like to write, you like to type, you like to research, get something for it. Because one source of income does not allow you to live your dreams, entertain, kick your bucket list, those kind of things, which everybody wants to enjoy life, as COVID taught us. One day you're here, the next one you're not, so live life to your fullest, but be responsible with it. So with that knowledge now, the ministry has been trying to be able to, one, make those connections, and to reach out to all the persons. As I told you, it was 5,000 households are receiving the benefit.
Which makes me wonder, how big is the staff for this?
Right. Right. So we have 7 social assistance officers supported by 4 case managers. And then we have some persons within administration who have some skills and previous experience with this population. And so we are deploying all of our manpower to be able to make sure that every household that is receiving PAP, seniors and disabled exception, should have received by now a call or an email from an officer. All right? That's your initial outreach. Then they would have put them through certain paperwork, their goal setting. We do a skills inventory if you're unemployed to be able to see those connections. With that skills inventory, that information is provided to the labor department so they can make some connections with jobs and opportunities that are there. But the data I'm seeing that is provided by the officers, a lot of persons are actually going out to work. So I don't want the general public to believe that the PAP recipients are just resting on their laurels, taking 500 and not wanting to do anything better. They really want to do better. All right. And so they've been very cooperative with our officers, as well as our officers doing the work to be able to connect them to those services. It is a process, however, because that's a lot of persons and households to deal with. But at least at minimum, email, phone contact should have been made with you. Unless you've had contact, it is not expected for you to be worrying about graduation. Let me make that clear. Some people, almost 6 months coming up and nobody call me, I hear nothing. We will get to you. All right, because it also allows you, especially even if you've been receiving it previously and have continued, or you're a new applicant that have gotten through for 2023, we also know in social work that I can't start to talk to you about your hard issues unless I stabilize you. All right, if you're worried about rent and eviction and child, I can't stop talking to you about what your goals and dreams are unless we stabilize you. So you've had a chance to be stabilized. 6 months of PAP is $3,000, non-taxable. So no Social Security, no levy came out of that. It was $500 placed on your bank account for you to do what you needed to do with it. All right, that is a stabilization in and of itself. All right, might not be the most, but
because it's going by households, what is the average size of the household that receive PAP?
Right. That I have to break down by. We have a uniqueness amongst our Spanish-speaking population, whereby they rent a home and multiple persons take care of rooms in the homes. So that is giving us a little bit of more information to be able to look at adjusting some of those definitions. But households-wise, for us, it is. individuals living in on the same property that share bills. Because we do know there may be persons that have built on their parents' property, but they're solely independent. That's fine. But once you share bill, you are in a household. All right? And so Spanish speakers, they are multiple. So they may be adults also having children. The average household that we're seeing we're not seeing a lot of intergenerational ones either. We're having persons that are having children, maybe up to the 18, 21-year-old CFB age. But once they graduate, they normally then leave home, which I always thought that, you give back a little bit first to the kiddie, to the parent who helped you. But we have a generation or a drive to be on your own. I'm not sure whether that works out, but we'll have to study that as well. So you normally have parents, admirably, there are a lot of two-headed households. Maybe not be married, so I know the single classification might still show up in our statistics, but we're at least seeing 2 adults in a household with an average, no more than like 4 children. Okay. What we are seeing as a complication is grandparents are taking care of children while the 2 adult parents are somewhere else and are not taking care of that child, leaving it solely for the grandparent or guardian to do. So we know we have some child protection advocacy to also do as well. Our legislation was updated in 2013 where the non-custodial parent, gender neutral, so men is no longer the mother can take you. The non-custodial parent must pay the custodial parent or guardian child maintenance. So if you believe that you're not able to provide for your child a stable household and you've given it to a guardian or other, you are still legally required to pay for that child's subsistence, whatever it is. Well, we don't want to get the court involved too much, but I mean, for your means do, and then it's also the spending time. All right, so that is a constant challenge we have with our populations. When you hear you're interviewing single parent female headed households and they say I have nobody, and where's the father? I don't know. No, where your godparents? I don't know. And so the erosion of the support system, the village raising the child, is something that we have to look at culturally to be able to put that back around the child. Because again, money is never the answer.
And I would say, based on the assessment that you guys are doing, it gives you an understanding of the society in which we're living in and how to actually address some of the concerns that we have.
And I just want to say to that's actually very important for us in this administration, just in terms of the way we're going about administering, programs within the social protection framework. So you would know from budget 2023, social protection is one of those key pillars. And this program, this cash transfer assistance program, is one aspect of our social assistance, social protection programming. And, we really seek to, part of the restructuring and why, it's taking time. People are like, well, why is it taking so long? That's because we are trying to collect data as we go along. And this is information that is important for us because remember, the ultimate objective of social assistance is to actually reduce poverty. And, for years, St. Kitts and Nevis, we have done well, we have performed well, but we still have pockets of absolute destitute poverty in the Federation. And so we really are making an earnest effort to understand what the trends are through the processes that we're instituting and through the conditions that we're placing around these programs in order to be able to target the most vulnerable and those who are most in need. And we're seeing some things. P.S. Clark would have mentioned some things. With this program, we're servicing seniors and persons with disabilities. We realize that's actually taking up quite a large percentage of the PAP assistance. I think it's over 50% are actually going to our seniors and persons with disabilities. So that tells us perhaps we need to create something separate for those persons. So that's something that we have to consider.
I want you to go in further with the disability and the special needs.
Yes.
Is it that too is as present confined to the household, or is it a situation that if it is that you have a disability of some sort that there's an exception?
Well, I think the perhaps the way we thought about it in terms of highlighting that as a vulnerable group is because we see that there's still quite a bit of work for us to do with integrating persons with disabilities into our community. So a number of persons with disabilities are actually at home and shut in because our employment sector, employment or workforce environment is just not accommodating of these persons at this point in time. Of course, we have members from the community who are actually very active and can contribute, and they desire those things. They desire training, they desire education. This is something that they've said that they want. And of course, with the new ministry, which is, youth, aging, and disabilities, we now have a whole unit dedicated to seeing how we can consult with the community as well as with stakeholders to find ways of how we can actually improve in being able to integrate persons with disabilities so that they rely less on the state and can actually do for themselves, which is what they actually want to do. But we as a society, as a culture and a community, need to be ready and willing to be able to accommodate persons in our establishments, in our businesses, in our private sector, and that may require some legislative change, which is also something that we are working on. So I don't know if PS had anything to add in relation to that, but that is kind of what we're seeing. So in the absence of opportunities for sustainability for persons with disabilities, the state does have a responsibility, and that is why we prioritize this group to be able to receive the assistance at this time. But of course, that could potentially change as as more opportunities are created, which is what we aspire and endeavor to do.
Okay. Said it perfectly.
So, there is, so I think, it was important for us to kind of be here because, of course, we want to clear up misconceptions that people might
because
have.
At one point in time, I was hearing that persons are on it for a 6-month period, then they'll be cut off.
So,
and then a new set of persons on again.
So we want to reiterate what PS Clark said. So we have been working with a subset of persons who have been on the program with our small personal staff. We haven't been able to get to all 5,300 people yet. But it is persons who've been working with, I think initially we started with the unemployed.
Correct.
So we started with those who were unemployed, and I think that number amounted to just over 300 people initially.
Okay.
And so we've been working with that group, and those persons have been going through the case management process that PS was mentioning. So if you haven't necessarily been contacted, it's not a concern. We're not going to just throw you off without notice. Of course, there's always verification and re-verification going on. And so that is kind of how we're going about it. If you are going to be graduated off the program based on the reassessment that we may have done, you will get some sort of notice. And graduation, so I think people were concerned that it was going to happen in June. June would have been the 6-month max. So if there are any changes, it would be from July.
Correct.
And what we're really trying to encourage people to do and really just try to kind of shift the way we think about this cash transfer social assistance program. It is just not sustainable for the state to indefinitely pay people $500 with nothing attached to it, with no conditions. It's also not empowering. We are not actually alleviating any kind of poverty with that type of approach. And so we really need persons to kind of rethink the way you think about receiving this assistance. Of course, we want to help people. As a matter of fact, with these numbers, originally from budget, we would have budgeted for just over 4,600 people. But because we recognize how great the need is, the reality is, based on the numbers, is every single month, more people have been added to the PAP. That is the fact. And so, this idea and this, this sense out there that, we're not helping people and we throw people off the PAP and we just have people suffering is actually not true. We are really trying to do our best to service people who are in need. We're really trying. But of course, part of that, I think the public, individuals do need to take responsibility at some point as well to be able to say, well, okay, I've received this assistance, I know I've gained employment, or I'm really comfortable now, and with just some more responsible financial management, I know I can manage. So somebody else who may be in a greater need can be able to receive the assistance. And that's really how we have to think about it.
Yeah, for me, the decision was taken that everybody who was previously enrolled in PAP got their benefits through to December 2022. We made no cuts in 2022 outside of the identification of persons who were over $3,000. Everybody else received their payment. The 7,000 received their payment through to December. Everyone was called upon to re-register or register for the first time. December 31st, that platform closed. Then we started the evaluation of the applications based on the priority populations. That's the first thing a person needs to understand. Though you applied, if you're not in the 3 priority populations, you're not yet assessed for PAP. However, and the email we sent out is clear, if your household is in a vulnerable situation, there are other benefits the states provide, or food voucher assistance, medical assistance, because these are some of the underlying typical expenses. Now, I can't do for rent. I can't do for Skellig and water. But even these, outside of rent, Skellig and water have payment plans where they encourage persons to come in and sign up for those. All right? So all we are saying is, life is stressful and complicated. Yeah. COVID was devastating to many. I have a brother who went through that. All of his savings was wiped out, etc. But as you reset, it is resetting better. The state knows we have to provide that safety net. That is what we're here for. However, with we can't finance something for all 54,000 people in the country. Even during COVID, there were various caveats. Disabled got some assistance, working persons got the COVID relief, etc. Now it's time for us to, even in our programming, reset. So we want to be able to dispel, throw off a PAP. I don't know what is thrown off of PAP. If you did not hear or take the opportunity to re-register, there are other benefits which you can receive. However, it is not $500 and it is not cash. So if it is cash you're looking for, then we do not have an alternate program that meets that need. However, if you're in need of assistance, your bills are so much that the first thing you sacrifice is your eating, feeding your family, we have a program to be able to do that. If you have standing medical expenses, not standing, but especially for seniors, like medication, if you're expecting a major medical expenditure, there are programs there. There's a program there to assist with that. If you weren't able to apply, as I stated, and you're not interested in that, that's a decision you're going to have to take because the state is here to lend assistance to you. If it's not that, then again, there are other programs around the state system that can help you with a particular need. I want to do a small business. I'm unemployed. The Labor Department has a running job list, and it's always there. However, if you have applied and you're not in those categories, again, you can apply for the alternate programs until your type of household is evaluated. But we also want to dispel the thing that persons are folding their hands waiting to be called for PAP because there's employment opportunities, there's self-employment opportunities, there are payment plans at most public sectors where you have bills and expenditure doing. You still have responsibility to manage that portion of your life. No. Again, don't take what I said to say we are shifting responsibilities. We know we are here to provide a safety net for everybody. It's just that the safety net, if the only safety net you require is $500 direct payment every month, then we can't do that indefinitely. I can clearly say that. But we have enough programs mixed around, and that's what case management does. We know what the programs are. Now knowing what your needs are, we can connect you with both because there are agencies, entities that are there to provide services that should be able to help at least make a little bit of your distress lighter, but you also have to take the time as your situation evolves to utilize that time for betterment as well.
Okay. And just before we go, again, the reevaluation process, the 6-month mark would have been from January to June.
That's right.
So persons now in July would be able to say, well, you'll be able to tell them whether or not they would continue with the program or not.
Right, yes. And I think the plan as well is so there will be a time where we do reopen the applications again. But of course, as we say, the restructuring of the program is continuous. So we are collecting data and information as we go along. And again, it's not just around this one program. We have multiple programs that are being that are serving in terms of social protection. And the Prime Minister would have mentioned a number of them, even outside of the Ministry of Social Development and Gender Affairs, when it comes to public utilities. Those are actually heavily subsidized, and that you can count as part of social assistance.
ask therefore, so currently there are 5,000 plus on it. The re-evaluation would be done from the January period to the June. And then what about persons who you consider based on the criteria now no longer require the assistance would be transitioned off? What about those persons who
are waiting?
Yeah, they're still on as the application process opens again? Because let's say, I'm just giving a number. Let's say you have 5,000 now and you realize that 1,000 now can be transitioned off. What happens to the remaining 4,000 as you open the process again?
Oh, they continue. They're at different stages of the process. They would be in already engaged in case management. So it is officers with information provided by the individuals are always indicating how long they think you would require the assistance. All right? And that should be communicated with the individual. Okay, from what you're saying, okay, this was like a 6 months, 9 months, 1 year. So they're already having that conversation and they're just monitoring the individuals. So when we, outside of the new, anybody that might be coming on from a reopening of the application, we also have applicants who applied in December but are not in the priority populations. So we're also looking at a process of engaging those as well as anybody else that we missed. Because one thing that came out for sure is when the priority population of households with children, a lot of persons left off their children off their PAP application. So whereas we were budgeting for the numbers we saw in the system, persons will come in and say, well, I didn't add my child. And we're estimating like 50 per constituency. Oh no, that number blew up to be like another 1,500 persons that had to be added because they now have children added to their household. So again, it is the completeness of the application. I know for many it was a rush. Oh, PAP closing, all the thing that was going on about that in December. But it's to complete your application in its entirety. Remembering also that it is targeted for the most poor and vulnerable. The household must be earning less than 3,000. All right, we have persons who are attempting to reapply and reconfigure their applications to remove people who are in their household working just to come out of 3,000. And we're saying, allow us the information to see what next. I know it doesn't fix your issue now. I know that. However, with the ministry now having access to the full information all about this population, we're able to see where the gaps are and make provisions to be able to provide assistance in some kind. Might not be a social protection program, might be a program run in another ministry or department, because again, we would now be able to tell persons that an average household is this with these issues. And then how as a state, all ministries combined, do we address these issues? Because that is, it's an input in, output. So once we have information, we have a responsibility to use that to be able to make your lives better. So if you're over 3,000, but what is your challenge? We'll be able to provide opportunities to gain those. It doesn't mean that you have to be dishonest and try to get onto this program dishonestly, because there are enough people who need it, who are in that situation. So that's also the, something that we wanted to get out to persons. If you're over $3,000, there are other programs like the food voucher, and by applying, we get to have that same information from you to understand what else opportunities or programs we need to propose to the state that says, okay, we're seeing a large population of persons with this issue. We need to address this because this will help them to attain that. So I know Kitchens are very scared about giving up their information. I know I had that too. Miss Clark asked me how my business. She me to bring in all my bills. It's a process. Assuredly, I don't remember anything that you tell me after I meet you. So if you hail me out in the street and I'm not as responsive, it's because I have to protect the information you shared with me as a researcher. So we gather that information to be able to make proposals as to what's going on. Who else needs exemption? Senior-headed households, disabled households. What does reality of having children mean? We also have to do those analysis. What does it cost to raise a child by age group? Food, school supplies, incidentals. We have done that as a country. And that's information we need so that as we not have knowledge of births every year, we know what sort of impact that has, because having children is a glorious thing. All right, but it's also a reality that goes with that. It's a cost. And so we need to be able to sprinkle across to make sure that every child has the right to grow up and to grow old well in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that's just our central pledge.
Yes, it is. It is. So.
Well, I wish to thank both of you from the Ministry of Social Development for being here, taking time out to speak about the Poverty Alleviation Program. I'm sure that more persons are informed. And again, don't be a stranger.
Yes.
We welcome you to be a part of the program to share information.
Thank you very much for having us.
I want to say thank you for those persons listening, and see us tomorrow is a holiday on Wednesday as we have Island Tea again. Yes. Happy CARICOM Day to everyone.
Thank you. All right.